Carolina Crusher of Gary Porter, and that guy, Gary Porter, has been coming on stronger and stronger with each and every event this year.
Well, Porter will be carrying the colors for the Chevrolet teams, but as you said a moment ago, Bob Chandler originated the monster truck craze with the blue Fords they call Bigfoot. They've been featured in television commercials on national motion pictures. Everybody knows who Bigfoot is, but right now Porter is trying to make a name for himself like the old-time gunfighters. You knock off Bigfoot, you can make a name for yourself, and we're back to racing, Richard.
And it doesn't look like Bigfoot's going to be knocked off this time as he gets a nice hole shot, and he is going to take the win in Nashville over Gary Porter. Another day, another time for Gary. Rich moves on into the competition with that big 460 cubic inch Ford motor.
You know, Richard, all the crew members back in the pit area here are trying to figure out how to get the horsepower to the ground. King Crunch and his crew are thrashing like crazy right now.
Well, that is Scott Stevens. He has had one tough summer. And earlier today, Army spent some time with Scott Stevens about his bad luck summer.
Fighting your way back to the top in any motorsport can get awfully, awfully tough sometimes. Scott Stevens out of Houston, Texas, driver of the King Crunch, he's doing just that. The problem started, what, about 2 months ago in Colorado when you flipped it end over end. You had everything going for you. Then it seemed to go away. How's it coming back for you, Scott?
Yeah, you know, Colorado really slowed us down probably. It's been 14 weeks, and truck's just now really getting to, you know, I'm getting used to driving it again. The truck took a real hard fall, and it's got a few bends in it that won't come out until we go home, and it's just kind of like getting used to a whole nother truck, and I just got used to driving it when it was straight, and it's got a few bends in it. It's just not going too straight.
Speaking of going home, now being on the national tour like you are, how long has it been since this vehicle has been home?
16 weeks since the semi and the truck's been home. Everything that we've heard, we've had to either fly to us or, you know, and we've tore up everything you can tear up. We blew motors up. We've been through about 10 transmissions. We had to have a new body flown up to us from Creative Glass. You know, just anything. The whole truck's been rebuilt on the road.
Well, that is what you call Army dedication to the sport of monster truck racing. We're going to see if it pays off now as Scott Stevens comes to the line in King Crunch against Kevin Dabney, the Alien Machine, and this is kind of a crowd favorite here tonight. The Alien Machine, the only Nissan on the circuit. The Nissan plant is not 20 miles outside the city of Nashville.
Well, the sheet metal is Nissan, Richard. However, the horsepower is all American. It's Chevrolet, small block Chevrolet. Kind of two theories here. The small block Chevrolet with the Nissan, he'll be working a right lane. Left lane, the fellow we were just talking to, Stevens out of Texas, he believes in those Texas big cubic inch engines. Supercharged 514 cubic inch Chevrolet in the King Crunch. Small block 350 Chevrolet on the Alien, and a whole shot. The Alien jumped him right off the starting line, Richard, but Crunch is trying to pull him back.
Scott bouncing and rolling and going down the track and going off course. Scott Stevens off course. He will be disqualified. The winner and an upset, Kevin Dabney and the Alien Machine, as first round action continues in Nashville in just a moment on ES.
Seems like everything that
Tennessee,
moves.
the Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge continues with first round competition. We come to the line next is a guy, Jesse Brgy. I said earlier he was from Wyoming. He looks like he could be a mountain man of Wyoming, but actually he's from Wyoming, Michigan, and he's taken on a volunteer state hometown boy. That is John Moore's No Problem machine, which is right out of Tennessee.
Moore working the left side of the track, would love to put a win under his belt in front of his hometown folks, but I don't believe he's going to do it. Not going to do it. Wind's going to go to the right side, Richard.
I'll tell you what, Army, he may not have crossed the finish line first, but John Moore had a fast time. Don't be surprised to see him come back as a fast loser later in this competition. But the winner at the line is going to be Jesse Brgy, playing it for keeps out of Wyoming, Michigan. He moves on into the quarterfinals. And here comes the pride of Chevrolet, Stomper, and Mike Witt. Mike, of course, out of Mount Washington, Kentucky, against my favorite guy on the circuit, the beady red-eyed machine of Gravedigger and Dennis Anderson.
Anderson out of Virginia will be working the inside. Witt out of Kentucky, he'll be working the side closest to the track. Now, two different philosophies here also, Richard. Notice how slow Stomper starts off. The type of clutch he runs, it almost has to wind up like a rubber band. Meanwhile, Anderson nails the throttle and looks like he's done a lot of damage. As smoke starts to roll out the back, he'll advance in the win column.
Smoke not only rolling out as it covers the entire screen there, it starts boiling out of the back of the Gravedigger machine. What could that indicate? Because I know Dennis's motor is in the back of that. Could it be the motor of maybe transmission or something else?
It looked like transmission. We don't know now. I guarantee you, a lot of people are going to be jumping around trying to help him. You notice, matter of fact, a crew member from Bigfoot looks to be the first one over to help out. Everybody wants to help this kid stay in competition.
Well, it does look like it is a transmission problem as you see fluid leaking down. Dennis Anderson checking underneath Gravedigger machine. He needs to get back in competition to gain some points.
I can still make a pass. What's the deal? We need to come back. I mean, the transmission is wasted, period. We can fill it up with fluid, get some kind of a run out of it anyway. Because if I don't,
stay right here and roll right out there.
Right, that's what I'll do.
Now, there you hear it from the mouth of the monster driver himself, Dennis Anderson. He said he fried the transmission, but he's going to try to come back to get those valuable Renegades points. There you see Rich Hoosier, driver of Bigfoot, taking on a local radio personality, and he's pretty well blowing him away on the track. You know, Rod Litzow is going to be the most powerful machine on the circuit tonight with all that awesome speed. Army's got him now talking about lane choices.
Well, as so many people said when the evening started, USA 1's going to be the truck to beat. Now, Rod Litzow, you're turning some super numbers. You had a bye run in the first round, but we noticed you took what we thought was a bad side of the track. You made your single run out of the left lane. Why'd you do that?
I think the track's pretty even today. Like I was saying yesterday, the track's getting hammered down now and it's smoothing out. They fixed the ramp on the end, and I kind of like it if I can hit that last set of cars and launch and clear. It's a lot smoother for me to land on the other ramp, and it makes it a little faster time for me.
Okay, now you're going to have to make a decision in competition. If you had to choose right now, what lane would you go out of, right or left?
I'm going to stick with this lane, I think, all night.
So quick time of the night in the left lane. Won the previous event, setting a new track record. Every time he goes out, he seems to set a new track record. But right now, going to the high side, the lane that nobody wants.
Now, Rod Litzow, to show you how fast he has been, Army, has ran an 8-second time down this track that's never been done before by a monster truck.
Well, I'll tell you, the people in Nashville are definitely getting their money's worth on a Renegade tour. You said it earlier, they're racing people. They're seeing a whole new ball game of motorsports, and once again, the USA 1 comes out smoking, Richard.
Way up and over, Rod Litzow moves on as John Moore's no problem is left sitting in the dust of Nashville. John out of the state of Tennessee not faring well against the most powerful machine here tonight. Rod Litzow in the Chevrolet USA 1. So long, John. The fans appreciated it, but you couldn't do it tonight.
Richard, look who's coming to the line now. Still advancing over the national points. Litzow is on a roll. Bigfoot knows it. Bigfoot knows each round you've got to do the same thing the Chevrolet did. He must win. Look who he draws. Rich Hoosier being Bigfoot going against Paul Huffaker. Litzow, Hoosier, and Huffaker in a three-way Donnybrook for these national points. This run can be very decisive towards the end of the year point standing.
Well, I'll tell you, Rich Hoosier may be losing some races recently to USA 1, but he is not going to give up easily. I expect to see him give it his all right now against Pablo Huffaker.
Believe me, Hoosier comes out. It's a good run. Hoosier trying to work the inside. He's not going to roll over for anybody. He advances. That's exactly what he needed to do. So the national points chase, points-wise, stay the same.
Rich Hoosier with the winner in Bigfoot. He is going to come back to face off against the Chevrolet of USA 1. And we're going to be back in the Music City in just a moment with more quarter-final round competition on ESPN. On the Alien machine as opposed to Jesse Berkey's.
The Alien's kind of unique. A lot of engineering differences in this vehicle. Yes, the tires are taller. They're 72 inches tall. The other tires in the other vehicle are only 66-inch tall tire. Small block Chevrolet in the Alien vehicle, the driver says the smaller cubic inch, the taller tire combination works good for him. Now remember, this young man has not followed the tour with us, but he's been very, very competitive in this sport. He's been around a lot of time. He builds these trucks for people. He says the small block, tall tire combination is the way to go, and it looks like he's not only talking the talk, Richard, he's walking a walk. Look at the Alien make a shot down that left side. He's going to advance to the next round.
But not without a real battle from Jesse Brgy playing for keeps. I'll tell you what, Kevin Dabney had to earn every inch of that win. The Alien machine moves